Good morning, everybody. And before I get rolling here, just to dispel any curiosity on your part, yes, I am currently hiding in the bathroom. And if you were almost 50 with 3 kids, 4 and under downstairs, there will be times that you would hide in the bathroom too. So right now, currently, this is the most peaceful place in the house, so this is where I am. Well, it's probably an understatement to say that this week has been nuts. Had the presidential election Tuesday, and it's Friday, and it still ain't over. And it could be over today. It might not be over for weeks. And there are some legitimate reasons for the hysteria, but I'm not going to get into any of that. But I do want to address the hysteria from the lens of somebody who belongs to Jesus. And I need you to understand that this is probably more for me today than it is for you. The story that I want to share with you comes from Mark chapter 4, where Jesus and his disciples are in a boat, and they are on the Sea of Galilee. And Galilee was, and probably is, famous for how quickly storms can develop and for how severe those storms can be, where everything can be calm and okay one moment, and the next you're rowing, sailing, boating, swimming for your life. Now, having never actually been to the Sea of Galilee, I'm just trusting in the writings and testimonies of others about that fact. Well, in Mark chapter 4, Jesus is in a boat with his disciples on the Sea of Galilee, and he is in the back of the boat with his head on a cushion, asleep. And a storm comes up, and the disciples are freaking out. And it must have been pretty bad because many of the disciples are fishermen. They're probably accustomed to big waves and big wind and rain and so on. And for them to be freaking out in a storm probably means it was a pretty good storm. And also in the ancient world, it was largely held that, symbolically, water represented the abyss, bodies of water like the Sea of Galilee or the Mediterranean Sea or whatever. In fact, when Jesus heals the demon-possessed man who was possessed by legion, and he cast legion into the pigs, and they run over the cliff into the sea, where, remember, before Jesus does that, legion begs Jesus not to send them into the abyss. So Jesus agrees, and he sends them into the pigs. And where do the pigs run? Into the abyss. So there's this feeling of darkness or evil, if you will, anytime there's a storm on the water. And right now, there is a storm on the water. The abyss is raging, if you will. Well, Jesus is asleep in the midst of this, and the disciples, freaking out, go to him, shouting, "Don't you care that we're about to drown?" Now think about this. The storm is raging. The Son of God is asleep in the midst of this storm. Asleep. He's sleeping in the midst of this storm. While the disciples are scurrying all over the place trying not to die, Jesus is asleep. And so they come to him with, I guess, what amounts to a stupid question. Don't you care that we're going to die? Well, yeah, of course he cares if you're going to die. But the point was this: you're not going to die because Jesus is on the boat. So Jesus gets up and he rebukes the waves, he rebukes the wind, everything settles down. And it's almost like the disciples were more freaked out after this happened than they were before, because they're afraid now. They're afraid because who is this that even the waves and the winds obey him? Well, I'm curious as to what you think was going to happen. I mean, didn't he just do exactly what you were hoping he was going to do? Maybe they didn't know what to expect from him, other than, hey, could you possibly save us here? But they didn't know how he'd pull it off, because apparently calming everything wasn't on their list of things they expected. But he does, he calms everything. And then he asks them 2 questions. Why are you so afraid? And where is your faith? Well, I think at the heart of the hysteria in our country right now lies some fear. Some fear. Fear of maybe what's unknown, fear of maybe our country going somewhere we don't want it to go. I don't know. And maybe it feels like Jesus is in the back of the boat sleeping, and Christians all over the land are crying out, don't you care what's going to happen here? And his response would be, why are you so afraid? Where is your faith? Now, if you're hoping that Jesus stands up, wakes up from his slumber and stands up and calms the storm here, you're not alone. I hope so too. And he eventually will. I'm just not sure when. I don't know how long he was sleeping on the boat before the disciples woke him up yelling. Maybe it was a couple minutes, maybe it was an hour, I don't know. But something good will come of this. I don't know what it is, and I don't know when, but it will, only because Jesus, even now, asked those 2 questions. Those 2 questions still resonate. Why are you so afraid? And where's your faith? So hang on. Don't know where this is going, but it's going somewhere. And at the end of it, it'll still be okay. That's it. Check it out, Mark chapter 4. See ya.